Can you say hello? Can you look at that red light? Do you see it?
Hey guys, since I have posted my home birth, I have gone up a crazy amount of subscribers, so thank you for that. Last I checked, it was like 230,000 views with this little Nugs labor and delivery. So I figured it would be super fun to do a home birth Q&A / introduce you to the little gal. This is Leora. As you saw, she was born 9 pounds, 10 ounces after a 26-hour labor. So that's just a little recap. If you haven't watched that video, I can link it above and you can watch it. Let's just jump right into the Q&A. Let me get my Instagram pulled up. Are you gonna get grumpy? You wanna lay on your playmat? Oh, there you go. That's fun. That's fun. Yeah. It's really precious, but she does have hiccups, so you'll hear that in the background. We're just rolling with it. We're just doing the best we can with what we got. Where did we get her name? I have no idea. I have truly been keeping a list on my phone and notes of baby names I've liked since I was like 16. I loved the idea of like a really feminine name, so Leora, I feel like is very like princessy, and then we call her Leo, and I feel like that's like a kind of gender neutral name for her, and I don't know, I love it. To be honest, we had multiple names going into her birth, thinking like, oh, like let's look at her and make sure like her name fits her. In the home birth video, like she comes out and I'm like in shock of what all just happened, and I go like, this is Leora, and apparently I just decided in that moment that her name was Leora without discussing it with my husband. And he was cool with it. He was like, yeah, I loved that one. That was great. But we did not share the name publicly with like on social media or with friends or family or anything, because you know how people can be there and be like, oh, I knew someone once named by that name, or so we just didn't want the opinion. So we just kept it to ourselves, and we freaking love it. It's so funny how many times this question was asked. It's like, how much weight did you gain and how's your confidence? I don't know why this is such a thing. There's so many times through her pregnancy, people will be like, oh, you know, I only gained 7 pounds. People really pride themselves on that, and that's fine. I eat a paleo-based diet. I'm not one to eat in excess for like no reason. Like I do like intuitive eating. Like I didn't keep track. I did not weigh myself at home. I never weigh myself in my regular life, and the only time I did get weighed was when we would go to, originally we were gonna give birth in a birth center, but then we switched to a home birth, so anytime I had an appointment, they would weigh me, but like I didn't ask and I didn't look. Like I just didn't care, because my thought is if you feel good and you're eating a nutritionally dense diet, like it doesn't matter how much weight you gain, it's done. So I literally have no idea. Will you do a home birth next time? Absolutely. Oh yeah. Oh goodness. So during her pregnancy, I did a whole bunch of research. By proxy, shared that information with Dave. And when we decided to switch from the birth center to a home birth, a lot of what I heard was like, oh, I did a birth center for the first time just to see how it goes, and then I'll do a home birth. I was just like, why do we have this fear in us, this like questioning of like, just in case my body doesn't work? God doesn't design broken systems. I think there are certain circumstances that, you know, environmental things, like I'm not gonna get into it. In my soul, I knew home birth was for me, and that like my body was made to do this. I was designed to give birth, and why should I question it, and why should I question God's design? So barring like a genuine emergency or a genuine reason to be at a hospital or a birth center, like we will be home for any subsequent births. How was passing the placenta? So I actually have all of this footage. I just didn't include it in the birth vlog because it made it super long. And in the home birth video, I wanted to put 1 minute for every hour I was in labor, roughly. And oh yeah. Yeah, Chatty, you want to talk? Do you want to tell them your side of the story? Because you were there too. We were both really heavily involved. If you watch that video, I got out of the tub, I sat on the birthing stool, and my midwife was like, you know, your bleeding's great, like things are good, but we're going to watch it because your uterus is very tired from a long labor. And so it kind of faded out there, but there's so much more content that I have after that. So at one point she said, hey, your bleeding isn't slowing down, so let's do this tincture that you hold under your tongue. You know, I did that, and then I don't know, a small amount of time went by, and then, okay, it still hasn't slowed down, let's do another round of the tincture, and did that, and nothing happened, and she started doing a fundus massage, which is the worst thing. Like, if this is your stomach, she pushed in and like and was like pushing the top of the uterus and like massaging it to try to push out all the clots. And that was not comfortable, not gonna lie, it wasn't great. And I remember I watched that footage and I was like, I remember saying, oh, I thought I was done with the pain. And she was like, I know it'll just be a short time. So after that, she was like, I think we should administer Pitocin because your bleeding isn't slowing down. And this is, you know, she's a midwife and she's very well educated and she knows when things are medically necessary and she knows my opinions and thoughts and stuff. She's like, do you consent? Do you agree? Are you okay if we do Pitocin? And I was like, yep, let's go for it. I am intramuscularly. She administered Pitocin. Don't even remember it. I don't even remember the sting. She was encouraging me like to nurse to try to get the placenta out. So she had me stand up, and I should have asked her why, but she had me stand up, and she didn't do cord traction. She just like was guiding the placenta, like encouraging the placenta to come down. She was just putting like slight pressure. Again, I have this all on video, so it's all there because I don't know that I would have remembered it otherwise. Or I watched it and she said like, here it comes, and then it plopped out. It was nothing. Like what hurt more was the fundus massage. So all that being said, if you're worried about passing the placenta, almost guaranteed you won't remember. You won't unless you have to like get it scraped out. Let's not get into that. What were you thinking during all those hours? Yikes. During labor, they tell you all the time, and you watch videos like this and you hear from friends, it was like you went into your primal brain. Dave went to sleep and then I like tried to rest, but I feel like I never woke up. So like my frontal lobe never turned back on, and it was like this like out of focus. My eyes were always closed, and that could have been the hypnobirthing class I took. It was all very internal, and like as like surges and things were happening, I was just trying to work on my breathing and relaxing and stuff. I listened to so many podcasts and videos on YouTube and affirmations and things that like I tried to like replace any negative thought with a positive thought or facts about birth or all of these sorts of things. So like when I would get exhausted, like when I was on the toilet and I said like to my sister-in-law, Irene, I was like, I want to give up. I remember saying it to her, but it was like a different person was in my mind. I know how weird this sounds. There was a different person in my mind. It was like an angel and devil. And it's like, ooh, that means you're close to giving birth. Like I know, like when you get that point where you want to give up, that's when you're close to giving birth. And so I was just thinking about like, I'm not kidding, like little snippets from podcasts that I heard about labor and delivery. Like I'd like look at Dave and like be so impressed with him and like worried about him that he wasn't resting because he has a bad back, and I wanted him to, you know, not hurt himself by laboring as long with me as he was. And I remember like it was nighttime when I started and then it was daytime, and then it was starting to get nighttime again, and I was like, how much longer is this going to take? Also, all of these people are here. Like the poor, like Libby, my poor photographer and videographer, like she, yeah, she waited for you. She did. Yeah, she waited. She was very patient and kind. She was. I guess this is kind of similar. How did you cope with the pain? Through like hypnobirthing. I can link the class that I took. It's not sponsored at all. And it just teaches you it teaches you about surges, is what they call it. They don't call it contractions. And they don't call it pain, because if you relate pain goes to fear goes to tension, and then it starts over again. So you want to make sure you're not living in a fear-based mindset, because then labor will be super slow. But yeah, definitely try hypnobirthing. Deep breathing, reframing your beliefs on birth. You watch it anywhere in Hollywood, like it's like this whole like panic situation. It's not. Like it's like, oh, am I in labor? Am I in labor? Am I in labor? And then you find like, oh yeah, I am in labor. It's very slow. For some people have fast labors. I hate you guys, but some people do. And there's just not this panic, anxiety, like the water broke, we have to go to the hospital. Like that doesn't happen. Like that's not real. Even when your water breaks, you could still be in labor for a long time. Now, I don't know. My water never broke. She was just born in her sac. So I would definitely recommend taking a hypnobirthing class. It is phenomenal. Are you breastfeeding? Yes. Yes, I am. I fully recognize that not everyone has a positive experience with breastfeeding, and that like hurts my heart for women. The way we did her whole my postpartum experience, where like we didn't have anybody over for a week because I wanted to prioritize her and our bonding as a new like unit. We're gonna have to like we're gonna be breastfeeding for the next year or two, and I wanna make sure that is established and good before we have other people bonding. I won't get into it. I did a whole other video on it, so you can watch it there on setting boundaries with friends and family before baby gets here. But I wanted to prioritize that because that was really, really important to me, was to breastfeed. Now, however, lip ties, tongue ties, cheek ties are all a thing. I am incredibly blessed that she did not have any of those things. I don't know why that is. Breastfeeding is going awesome. I'm pumping as well to get like a supply and donating what I can extra because I know about all the formula shortages. So we are able to do what we can to help other mamas out there as well. This one says, why home birth? Question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. Doesn't seem safe. Yeah, I would just encourage you to do your own research, because people who think this have this mindset of hospitals being like a no matter what safe place, and that the doctor always knows what's best and the nurses always know what's best. Mind you, there are really wonderful and great doctors and nurses out there, but I was in the medical industry and there are a lot of bad ones out there as well, who are just concerned about getting home to do a thing or being lazy and not wanting to do X, Y, and Z. Not everyone is good. It's just like every profession. Some servers are good, some suck. Some electricians are good and some suck. Like, it's just, everybody is different. And I don't personally feel safe in a hospital because I know the cascade of interventions that happens and how natural birth is just, it's cheaper, truly. They can't bill you as much, it's cheaper, and really, like, you should look into how the billing system works at hospitals for giving birth, because they like charge you to do skin to skin, and it's like, what does that cost you? Why are you charging me to have my own baby that I birthed and I made on my chest? I mean, you should just question some things. Personally, I just didn't feel safe there, and it is incredibly safe to have a home birth. So they come with all the things that they need to resuscitate baby, to resuscitate mom, to stop the bleeding. They come with all those things and the skills to help you if there is trouble. So it is incredibly safe. I actually had someone comment on YouTube saying that the water didn't seem sanitary, and it's like you drink it from the tap when it's filled with fluoride and all that garbage, but you're not gonna question that. But if I birth in it, that's crazy. Or we shower in it. Like, what's the difference, yo? Oh, this is cute. Who does she look like? She looks like Dave. I love my husband. I love how he looks. He's handsome. He is dreamy. However, when you carry a child for 10 months, and it's not 9 months, it is 10 months, and you give birth and you go through a long labor and you look like your dad, it's just insulting. She does have my eyelashes. Love that she looks like her dad. But, you know, wouldn't hate it if she had some resemblance to me. It's fine. Best ways to manage pain. I'm scared even though I know unmedicated is the right choice. I already said hypnobirthing, but also my doula ended up giving me combs, like hair combs, the really thin bristled ones. Yeah, and I like held on to those. So like every time I'd have a surge, I'd squeeze it and it would like defer the pain or like distract my brain from like the things that were happening in my abdomen / vagina. What was the mess / cleanup like afterwards? Again, I have all of this footage. If you guys would want to see it, I'll totally post it because I think it's very interesting. Like, we got a tour of our placenta, which is totally something you should ask for no matter where you give birth, because it's very cool. Like, you created, like, yes, you created a whole human. Like it is amazing what God has done to be able to create a human life. But also, like, you create a whole organ that sustains that life. And it's super cool. And she gave us a tour, and like, they cleaned up everything, to my knowledge. So literally through the 26 hours, I remember at one point hearing the washer going and being like, who's doing laundry? And Dave was like, they're washing a towel that got some blood on it. So like through the whole day, or the whole, 26 hours, they were doing laundry, cleaning up after. So if I was like laboring, like standing up, they'd put a pad under me, or like just wipe up any like blood that would drip or anything. Yeah, they cleaned up everything, which was awesome. You want to help in this with me? I'm really grateful for all of the new subscribers. It's really awesome because it's something I'm incredibly proud of, was my home birth, and to see all the positive comments has been incredible. And thank you for being here. Seriously, if you guys have any requests for anything, unfortunately for you guys, I'm an open book, and I will definitely tell you how it is and what I think about it. So, anywho, hope you guys have a great day and happy home birthing.